3rd and 1 early in the game. This is a 3-year problem. A 3-year problem. If you have not fixed something in your workplace or your business, and it's taken 3 years and it's been a problem, you ain't there. Mm-hmm. Like, this is a constant problem that you can't figure this out. Whether it's the building of the offensive line, whether it's the play calling, whether it's the players making the play. Sure, everybody's got blame. You haven't figured it out. You can't get a yard or two. That has not changed. Not changed at all. That's an indictment on the staff. That's not normal. Because normally, when you don't do something well, you fix it the next week. Never mind the next year. And they've tried many times, by the way. They knew it was a problem coming out of year one. They tried, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to go get Brenton Strange. We're going to go get Anton Harrison. We're going to go get Tank Bigsby. Didn't help. Okay? We're going to put more emphasis in the weight room and compete for everything, and we're going to be more physical. Hasn't worked. You can't figure it out.
You're out of options.
No, you can't figure it out. If you can't get 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 2, your offense isn't good enough. You're not going to win enough games, and that's not good enough. You're out. Yep. 3 years to try that. So, like, those are the reasons why you got to make a move. And again, I'm the last guy to do that, and I think it's a players' league, Austin. But I think there are too many things that say this is deeper than the players right now. I mean, I think yesterday is a great game that we try to be very fair to players on our show.
Yeah.
I try not to disrespect what they do, and I have a lot of appreciation, admiration for what they do. Yesterday is a game, if it was a singular game, and the Jags were pretty good or 500 or whatever, and we weren't all over the coaching staff in the front office, yesterday was a game where you would be just nailing these players, man. I mean, that was pitiful.
Sure.
That was pitiful.
If it was just one game,
it was a pitiful performance by professional players. It was a pitiful performance. And quite frankly, I think today they're kind of getting a little bit of a pass because everybody's on the Doug and Trent and everything else bus. But that was not a professional performance.
No, especially when you feel like your coach's job could be on the line.
You said that. I didn't even really think about that part,
yeah.
But you're right about that.
Yeah.
I mean,
come on.
Listen, the Lions bowed up because they threw 5 interceptions and still won a game last week. You couldn't bow up for your coach's job.
Yeah.
In pride. Like, yes, a lot of people, when you're watching a game, they'll go, oh, these guys aren't even trying. They're not even trying. I never believe that. I don't think they're not trying. I don't know what that looked like on tape. That would probably show up some effort somewhere in there. That would go back to Cisco comments from a month ago.
Some business decisions for sure. But
which would be, by the way, the second time this year we brought that up in a season. But I actually go to the word pride. Somebody there, like, honestly, I got to the point without hurting somebody. I was like, when is somebody going to get so pissed off that we're going to see a penalty? Like a late hit.
No, I was just going to say, I can't believe we didn't see someone throw a helmet, like throw a water jug, like something. Like,
I agree with you. Like, you would have lost your mind in that game, right?
Oh, listen, and like,
and been ejected. Like, I would have been okay with that. I probably would have applauded you getting ejected.
And like, listen, I'm not even talking about this. This is beyond football. Like, here's why I say, like, guys don't ever quit, right? Because, like, dude, it's a game you played since you were a kid. Like, you've been preconditioned. Like, you go to the whistle, right? You play all this, and you get to the NFL, and all of a sudden it's more about money and players play for different things. But as a man yesterday, to essentially, I don't even know what to say, to get your ass kicked is the simplest way to put it. Like, as a man, to get embarrassed. Why wouldn't you do something? What are you gonna say? We'll take a look at ourselves in the mirror and get better. Like, no. Like, there's got to be a break. Like, yesterday was the breaking point. Yesterday was.
Yeah.
Because if you're on defense, you couldn't stop them. Like, no matter what you tried, no matter how hard you played, you couldn't stop them. On offense, set aside from a couple field goals here, nothing. As a man, how is that okay?
Yeah, I don't know how you could have so many. You have 22 guys be able to handle themselves maybe so professionally, I guess, in that situation. Like, and again, after the game, I mean,
how many, once again, go back to other teams. How many other teams playing that game yesterday and someone doesn't do something?
No, Travis Kelce gets ejected out of that game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there are some guys.
Malik Neighbors, George Pickens may have punched somebody.
I was telling somebody on the right, like, how's Jalen Ramsey handling that game?
Oh,
he's asking for a trade.
Yeah.
That's why Jalen Ramsey asked for a trade.
His back's acting up, yeah.
No, seriously.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But you're almost looking for somebody to do something like that. And might be the problem with the locker room as much as we applaud them.
I mean, I guess we saw Trayvon do it with the ball punching out, but...
Little bit.
Last week?
And of course,
he had to pay 12 G's for that.
Yeah, he got fined, so he probably didn't want to do it again. But, I mean, you know, I would say you lose Roy Robertson, Harrison, Cam Robinson off this team, and I thought two of those guys right there are guys that could potentially do something crazy in a game like that. And I want to make sure, like, I'm not advocating, like, going after somebody's legs and hurting somebody, but a late hit here or there is okay. I mean, you know what Steph said? She's like, why does it look like the Lions hit everybody hard?
Yeah.
And it hardly looks like we hit anybody hard.
Oh, yeah, and ETN got, like, on a couple plays. I'm like, he might not be getting back. Yeah, everyone's getting lit up.
You know, Savage did hit people hard a couple of times, and Ventrell Miller's knocking people in the next week.
Sure.
But the speed of the game, like, it looks like they're playing a different. It looks like they were playing a different game yesterday. And listen, if you watch, what do we got? Josh Allen. Hey, we got all of them. All right. So actually, you know where I want to go? I want to see Devon Lloyd, because Devon Lloyd to me looked like a guy that, like, he wanted to explode. I wonder if you guys see it in his face as well. Again, I talk to these guys quite a bit. They're good pros. We've asked them a lot of questions after losses. I think this one was a tough one to swallow, to the point of, I'm about to combust. Here's Devon Lloyd.
There's no excuse to our performance.
And, you know, just from all the teams that you played this season, just, you know, the Lions offense, we're going to talk about just what did they make difficult for you guys today?
They just executed at a high level. You know, at the end of the day, there's no excuse for us not being able to execute, but they're a great team, and, you know, they played great today.
Devin, how tough is it to play out there in one of those where you just can't do anything? I mean, they kind of had their way with you guys.
You know, when it comes down to it in the game, you know, we're just trying to rally together and, you know, find a way to get a stop, find a way to make a play for the team. Obviously, things didn't go our way today, and, you know, that's a tough pill to swallow. Just something we have to look at the drawing board, get back to work, really.
Do you think it was fatigue, effort, them? What do you chalk it up to?
At the end of the day, it's football. You know, there's no excuse. You know, every game day, you got to come out and you got to be prepared, and you got to execute. And, you know, we just got out-executed today.
What was it, Brian, here after embarrassment, anger? You know, how would you best describe what it was?
Frustration. Just knowing the guys we have in this locker room, knowing what we're capable of, and then obviously going out and not performing to our standard, not performing, you know, well at all. You know, it's just frustrating.
Brian, how concerned are you that potentially the owner could make some changes this week?
At the end of the day, it's the reality of this business. You know, obviously, it's not something anybody wishes for. You know, we got so much love for everybody in this locker room and on this team. It's not something you wish for, but it's the reality. You know, we're not winning, and so, you know, it is what it is.
Just have too many things to fix right now.
It's just minute things, minute details. Everybody's got to execute. Everybody's got to do their 1/11th every play. So it's nothing that we're not capable of doing. I don't think it's anything that's too much. But it's just a matter of making those corrections. And when it comes down to the game, you know, making it show up.
Doug said he thinks this team needs a break. Do you agree?
I think the bye week is coming at a good time just to get everybody's body back healthy. Obviously, mentally, you know, allowing guys to recoup and, you know, come back in 2 weeks fresh.
Do you have to kind of hide or Josh said, kind of like not get emotional after one like this and sit on it for a little bit?
It's tough to sit on this for, you know, 2 weeks. I think we got to just use it as fuel. Obviously get the rest that we need during the bye week, but then when we attack preparation, you know, we got to use this as fuel.
Listen, this is, I think you could see it on Lloyd's face, right? I mean, it's this Everbank game plan. What was the game plan? I asked this earlier. It's like, what were they trying to do on defense? They looked like they They had no plan. I mean, they couldn't stop anything. That's 7 touchdowns on 7 drives. They were getting pushed all over the place. I don't know what they were trying to do, Austin. Like, and I think you see it on Lloyd's face there. Like, I don't know if he wants to punch something or wants to almost cry. Like, there is pride in that. Like, it's hard to, like, these guys are prideful guys. They like to compete.
Do you think they like, I mean, imagine how angry we are right now.
I know it.
Imagine how they feel.
And they got to answer the questions.
They had to play the game and they have to stare down the barrel and answer the questions.
They got to own it. They got to live through that. Like, I would have a very hard time keeping my composure. So I give them credit for that. But listen, like, when you play a game like that, it's like, why did we practice all week?
Well, so this is what I want to allude to a little bit. So first of all, the game plan on defense. Brent, it didn't matter if you called the right coverage every single time. It didn't matter if you pushed all the buttons. Like, you had one team that played pissed off because I guess they were that upset that they got beat by, they almost got beat by Houston. Yeah. And you have another team that was just taking shots. It wasn't even counterpunching. It was just you're absorbing everything. Like, there's no game plan. There's no scheme that's going to help you win that football game. You just had one team that was ready to play, and look what one team wasn't. And, I'm starting to see a trend now with every one of these interviews after the game when it's like the first couple of questions. They look in shock.
Yeah.
You don't really see and once again, I don't want to speak for everybody because maybe there's an example that I'm missing. But usually, if you get beat like you just got beat, your first instinct's going to be pissed off. Your first instinct's going to be you want to punch something, which Lloyd started to get to the end there. But your first instinct's like, don't talk to me right now.
Yeah.
I thank God I didn't play. Hey, just saying, Brent, I know we're friends and everything. You would have kept on egging me on during the interview. I don't know what would have happened. But we've seen a trend now where these players look like deer in the headlights. Like, what did we just go through? What was that? And if we keep seeing this week in after week out, players once again, just in shock, really no answer, like, I can't believe that just happened. Well, then it leads me to believe, were they prepared properly? Were they ready for the task at hand? Because this isn't just a one-off with Devon Lloyd. I feel like we see this week in and week out. So if you have guys that are, I have no idea what happened out there. Well, then what is the team's mentality? What is the motivation? What are we talking about before the game? Are guys getting amped up or not?
I don't know what somebody brought this up on social media, and I was kind of thinking about it. What does Doug say to him? Like, Mike, usually you can tell what Doug said in the post game, or if somebody else, like a couple weeks ago, was Evan Ingram's like, "Hey, you're playing for your legacy." Well, that's fallen down a couple weeks because what the heck is that legacy? That's a legacy game right there in a bad way, right? You're in the history books for the wrong reason. So what's Doug saying? And the best thing I could, we'll get to Josh maybe a little bit later. Josh was pretty stone cold as well, and was like, he even said it. He's like, "Listen, I know you're asking questions, but I'm trying not to be emotional here, and I'm trying not to. I'm trying to sit on it and not do anything like we shouldn't do or say." And he actually vocalized it. And to me, that's what Doug might have said to them. It's like, "Listen, this was as bad as it gets, but do yourself a favor and don't point fingers and don't go say something stupid. Let's just sit on it for a day. We'll regroup. We'll collect ourselves tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of noise." Like, I bet that post game was that, because that's what I gathered from it. But now what you do is you ask, what does he say to him today? What does he say to him Tuesday? Go get a break? What does he say to him on Saturday before the Houston game? Like, what do you say to this team that you haven't tried with nothing else working? That's where I land on it. Like, when people say, has Doug lost the football team? I would say now he probably has. Not that they don't like Doug, but everything the guy tried to say to him, everything they've preached and planned for has turned into this. The only thing that can kind of recalibrate this team right now is maybe a little rest, but Trevor Lawrence coming back, because then he can maybe do it. Maybe he provides a little infusion into, and maybe he's the one that gets up on Saturday before the Houston game, right? So, like, to me, that's their last chance to not look like this for the next 6 weeks, is maybe Trevor coming back and give him a little hope. But I don't know what the hell Doug says to him, which is another reason why maybe it's not a bad time to make the move.
Well, there's nothing to say. I'm sure it's going to be, hey, guys, we need this break. go get some time off, get your minds right, and we'll see you back here in a week or something. Cool.
All right, we're taking a break right now. In fact, probably need a longer one than just 5 minutes, but we'll be right back. We'll talk more about, the Jags. We'll do that at noon. I got to talk about this Tyson fight a little bit. Sure. And a little busy week in college football. That was the Everbank game plan. I have no idea what the heck it was for the Jacksonville Jaguars on Sunday. If you need a quality play this football season at your home, call That One Painter First Coast. Locally owned and operated, experienced employees, no builder-grade materials. And there's more, and for that, we throw it to Noah Schlicksup. That One Painter First Coast can apparently help your kicking game, too.
Well, after my failure on skinny sticks last year on Creekside game day, I've spent a lot of time out here at Creekside practicing my kicks. There's only one issue. How is that even possible? The good news is I know exactly who can help. That One Painter can handle all your painting needs, from field goal posts to cabinets to stucco. They got you covered. Though they may not be able to help with my kicking, they can certainly help with the posts. Call That One Painter First Coast today for all your painting needs at 904-495-1373.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning, and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Right now, save $1,000 or more when you bundle a Connecticut Premier Softener with a Connecticut K5 drinking water system. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Ask about our 90-day love it or leave it guarantee. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
For the game day hustle and every day in between. Juggling my show, Jags Social, to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament. But this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP lounge on wheels. Let's talk tech. My profile remembers everything from customizing my dash display to setting the ambient lighting and my signature scent. And wireless charging, essential for live tweeting scores. Whether I'm packing for a beach day with friends or heading to the gym, there's space for every passion. After dominating all day, this becomes my recovery zone. The massage feature is like having a personal PT on call. Life's a non-stop game. But with this ride, I'm always on my A game. The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Drive your passion.
If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. When you hear that, you think Bono's Pit Barbecue, a staple in Northeast Florida now for 75 years. A place that feels like home with friendly service, a meeting place for friends, family, or business occasions. On the menu, the corn nuggets are a favorite in our house, but there's something for everyone. Sandwiches, platters, salads, sides, desserts, and family feasts. You see Bono's all over the place in Northeast Florida. You know, there are almost 20 locations in the Jacksonville area now, so stop on by, sit down, and dine in with Bono's. You can also take it to go. There are drive-thrus in many of the locations, and they have delivery options too. Just download the Bono's app to make things easy. I signed up for the loyalty program, and you can too, to get special offers. If Jacksonville is home, few things feel more Jacksonville than Bono's Pit Barbecue. Celebrate 75 years and many more to come. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
There is a look at Everbank Stadium. Brent Martineau along with Austen Lane, Jason Hamby on a Monday. Miserable one here in Jacksonville. It looks nice, though. Doesn't
It's such a beautiful day. It's
run around that field a little bit.
Kind of do.
Is Shad there? Do we know?
So I saw somebody report that Shad flew back, or his plane flew back last night to Jacksonville, and I think that can mean multiple things because, the Kismet's here, right? So he might have just been hanging out on that.
Sure.
Or he might have deeper conversations today. So I'm not reading into any of that. I think it's pretty abnormal for him to come back to Jacksonville right after a game. But again, the yacht's here, so maybe that's part of the reason. Who knows? You never know what Shad has. Yeah. So he was in the locker room yesterday as normal, and obviously didn't make the move yesterday, which wasn't surprising. Like everybody's asking, they don't fire coaches in the locker room after a game. Like that's not normal. Sure. They did do it with Gus Bradley, which was a little unique, and he still flew back. And I think that probably isn't the way he'll ever do it again because that was very abnormal. And fortunately, like Gus was such a good dude that he could handle it.
Sure. Yeah.
But I don't think that's the way it normally goes. Now, last night, this morning, those kind of things. I think this is trending toward him not making a move, but I don't know. So I just think right now, the later you get, obviously, it's easier to say that. Doug Pederson's going to get out in front of a microphone at 1:45 as of now. So 2 hours from now. The locker room's going to talk in a half hour. Stuart Weber's heading down to that. So I don't know what all that means. Hey, if you're jumping in on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch, I guess the link kind of just shut off for a minute or two, so restarted another one. But you got us here on a Monday morning. Brent and Austen Show as the Jags go to 2-9 heading into the bye week. The absolute worst case scenario, which we thought a month ago. And the crazy thing is the Jags battled through some things against the Eagles and the Packers and the Vikings, like where they almost won those games, tough stretch, a chance to win those games. And then they just got blasted Sunday in Detroit, as you know. Speaking of things that didn't go as planned, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight.
Yeah.
Got to mention it.
Sure.
What do you think about it? I don't know what it says about society, but I don't know what a lot of things say about society, that you had 65 million watching it.
Yeah.
But I was one of them.
Yeah.
Shame on me.
Yeah.
It's amazing how easy it is to make money for those guys.
Well, yeah. I mean,
stealing money.
I tried to tell y'all.
I know.
And I watch it too.
I didn't think it was as bad as people thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I mean, it was
like it wasn't
set
hugging.
Aside from the first round.
It wasn't the Roy Jones one.
No.
This was better than Roy Jones.
Yeah, because I think more is on the line.
It looked like there were punches thrown at.
No, there were punches thrown, absolutely. But I also,
guys were sweating.
No, absolutely. But I did think that Jake Paul let him off the hook a little bit. Honestly,
you did.
Yes, yeah. I think because Tyson was throwing maybe towards the end
no
3-4 punches.
He was just trying to make it.
Yeah,
right.
And I think if Jake Paul wanted to take him out, he would have. But I think that would have cemented Jake Paul as the ultimate villain.
Yeah.
Well, and this is okay. I mean, a couple things. So first of all, I said it like Jake Paul. His best attribute is that he knows how to pick a fight. Okay? Like, he knew what he was doing there.
The jokes after were fantastic.
Oh, yeah,
Is Biden next?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, now he wants to fight Conor, but Conor will probably weigh like 170, 180, and Paul will be like 220, but the whole thing is like, well, Conor, you say like you're one of the best mixed martial artists of all time, so fight. So like that's probably going to be like the next play, but Conor still has 2 more fights on his UFC contract that I'm sure Dana White is not going to let him get out of. So that'll be something to watch. Yeah, I mean, it's what I expected, okay? And, like, listen, props to Mike Tyson. You know, I mean, knee brace and all, he got in there, and now he's calling out Logan Paul, which we're all set, though, you know? Like, not going to tell Mike Tyson don't fight somebody, but I think we're all set with the Paul brothers now. Let's move on with our lives, Brent.
Yeah,
I want to see him fight another 58-year-old man just so I can see how good he actually is.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, you mean Tyson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Tyson, I thought Tyson actually put it in. This was more of a play, not for the people, even though he stole everybody's money, but it was a play for himself, it seemed like, right?
Yeah,
I mean, especially after what he did and all that. And, of course, is he broke?
I don't think so. But
I don't think he has, like, I don't think he's in great standing, right?
Yeah.
This is Steve Gleason, like the champion for ALS. Somebody made a joke and he came over the top.
Okay, I thought, okay.
I know. When you said that, I was like, please.
Okay, but if Steve Gleason's
the one that said it.
Okay,
yes.
we're okay.
Steve Gleason's a funny guy.
He's cool.
He is a great guy.
He's
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, listen, it's all such a show. You know, it's fascinating to me that why doesn't this fit in the wrestling genre? Where you appreciate people's athleticism, you appreciate the hype, the mic skills, the promotion, the storylines.
Sure.
And you're okay with it knowing that it's...
Because it's supposed to, because we're told it's a real sport.
I know, but isn't this kind of like a different genre of boxing now, could you say?
Oh, it is.
Where it fits into that?
This is sports entertainment. This is what boxing has become, and MMA is going that way too. And I'll be honest, I hate it. Like, I can't stand it because to me, you're taking away the heart of the sport. You're taking away the soul of it as well, and it just seems like a cash grab. Now, once again, I sound like a get off my lawn guy. I know I'm probably the minority here because, well, the ratings say that it's working.
I think everybody's with you though.
No, they're not.
They still watch.
Okay, yeah, they're still going to watch. That's the most important part.
Well, that
doesn't matter what it looks like. And like, listen, yeah, sure. But I'll say this over and over again. Name the last Jake Paul fight where you watched where you weren't disappointed at the end.
Yeah.
Okay? But we still like people, and listen, I tuned into this is the first one I actually watched live because it was on Netflix and I already had Netflix. I wasn't going to pay $70 for the pay-per-view, but if it's on Netflix, sure, I'll check it out.
My problem with the Jake Paul stuff, and this is very periphery for me, okay? And I understand we're in a new age and a new world, and I've adapted to that. We're like, that's cool. Like, I'm fine with it's wild, the influencers and everybody else.
Yeah.
But when you look at Jake Paul, and this might be just like a little harsh, but he's like the kid in high school that drove you crazy and he was an idiot in high school and now all of a sudden has turned into like this billionaire guy.
No, for sure.
Because he's a clown, kind of.
Yeah, like, he's a troll.
I say that, though.
But it's still skill.
And I say that, and he's put a lot of work into it. He's smarter than the rest. He's smarter than the rest of us. And he also, and I can appreciate this part, he apparently does some good things for the sport of boxing and for other like charities and things. Like he turns it into that. Now, is that part of the game and everything else? Yeah, maybe. But I mean, that's part of the game for a lot of different folks. Yeah. And if you're still doing some good, is there really that much bad? I always say.
No, but listen, now I know what to do. Like,
Biff. Yes.
If I ever, listen, if I ever, hey, here's what's gonna happen.
That's great.
And I'm gonna mark it right now. If I ever get in a fight where number one people are just booing me nonstop, and then I come off as the heel, all you got to do is mention the first responders, mention the firefighters, mention the military. I mean, it's the Jake Paul playbook, though.
It is, but it's a playbook for a lot of big corporations at times and everything else too. But what I always say about that, those dollars or those people being impacted, and are they being impacted for better? Then I'm not going to hate on it too much. As long as you're helping those folks and whatever you're right, like if it's actually helping. If it's a disguise and you're not helping, that's a different story.
No, I'm sure it's actually helping.
But I mean, this is just the way of the world. We are a little get off my lawn. We got to understand this is it. This is where we're at. We're at this in college football, and college sports. We're at this in our life where this is. We wanted to see it. It's our own fault. We didn't want to see it, but once we told we were going to see it, we then did want to see it.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
I mean, it's just a charade.
Whatever. I made my money off it, so that's all I care about. Over 5.5 rounds. Duh. The easiest money I ever made.
Okay, so then and by the way, will Netflix be able to handle football? this was $65 million, which is just
But this was
insane.
but this is at the peak though. Like nobody was watching the. I couldn't name one guy in the undercard. I mean,
they said the women's fight was really good.
The women's fight was good. Yes, Soriano and Katie Taylor,
and they made a ton of money.
Of course,
off it.
Yeah,
so again,
But they're like two of the best in the world.
They actually like put on a show.
Yeah,
and they made more money than they would ever make in that instance. Right.
Correct.
So good for them.
Yeah, I mean, one girl had like that
was nasty.
Like a giant pepperoni on her eye. It was like bad, man. That was a big cut.
Got to be so many other just other fighters that are so jealous that they didn't get on that card.
Absolutely,
right,
absolutely.
I know, man.
That's opportunity, though. Again, it is opportunity. Whether you like how it came about, it's opportunity. I can appreciate some.
It's funny, well, because at the end of the day, you're a prize fighter. Right? Like, yeah, we can sit here and say it'd be cool to fight for championships. It would be cool to be in the UFC. It would be cool to be wherever. But at the end of the day, like that only gets you so far. Like, yeah, it's prestige and it's a name, but you're a prize fighter because like no one enters the fighting game and comes out unscathed. Like you're going to get hurt. It's going to happen. You're going to have damage. It's what happens. So you might as well make as much money as possible. So like this is why I do, I mean, and I say this loosely, but I do respect what's going on here because people are getting paid.
Yeah.
Because they're prize fighters.
Because that's what the name of the game is.
That's what the name of the game is.
Yeah.
It's entertainment, and if people are getting paid, then more power to them. I don't have to like it, though.
So can the NFL, is the NFL going to have a problem? What's this, Christmas Day, right? That's where the NFL is going to Netflix?
Beyonce is doing the halftime show.
Well, that might be bigger than even the...
Nice.
Looking forward to Christmas Day.
I didn't know that. Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, that just got announced yesterday, right?
I didn't see that.
So seriously, do you think they'll have an issue? Will they fix it in time? Will this be a trial period?
I don't know. I mean, once again, like they had issues like when the thing started. And you can't tell me 60 million people were tuning in to watch, I don't know, two influencers that weren't Jake Paul.
I do think people wondered when the fight was actually going on because it was such a casual thing. They don't understand that the main card doesn't come on until 11:30.
Oh yeah, and go ahead and milk it out as long as you can too.
Of course, you know that,
I mean,
right?
we have to get Cedric the Entertainer's thoughts about Mike Tyson and Jake Paul because Cedric the Entertainer is a big boxing guy, I guess.
So yeah, all that's I don't know. We'll see about. I think they'll get it right. I think they'll figure it out.
They're going to try to get Sesnick on loan.
They might get a
Sesnick on loan.
How about John Jones?
Goat.
That was a heck of a kick.
Goat.
Imagine taking that, bro.
You know what? At first, I was like, why did he go down right there? And then I saw a different angle.
Do you want to find out why? You want to test that out, Brent?
Well, he's a lot tougher than me, but then like you see it from a different angle, and the heel, man.
Yeah,
what's that? Is that like his rib?
Yeah, it's a
rib shot
for sure. Yep.
And just buckle a guy like that.
And I was
a big tough dude like that with a heel.
I was gonna say that video too because if you and Doug were about to go at it, I was gonna have you maybe throw one of those kicks before a double leg. So I was gonna coach, dude. You know, you have no idea how I felt because obviously
you had him queued up.
Oh, I was at Rich Jones' house. You know, I had to go through that whole ordeal. Thankfully, some great food there. Rich puts on a great little party. Fantastic. Had to hear the fight song. Oh, I don't know, 7 times?
He's a Lions fan, by the way.
Yeah, Rich Jones is a Lions fan. Get home quick, because why? Because now it's the 5th quarter. It's the main card. It's Brent Martineau versus Doug Pederson. And I'd be lying if I was a little nervous. I'm like, man, I didn't really show Brent that double leg. I didn't really show Brent how to stay long, because Doug Pederson's got him in height now. Now, don't get me wrong. He's scrappy. He's from Rhode Island. I know all those people get down, but I was still a little nervous. Like, man, I didn't prepare Brent like he should have been prepared, but thankfully it didn't escalate to that point.
So if it does escalate to that point, should I then hit him with the Trump dance?
No, it'll get edited out.
So what's going on with that?
I didn't know. Yeah, because I saw this in college football. I saw this in the NFL with the Lions.
Yeah.
And now we've seen it with John Jones.
So here's my question on it.
Yeah.
Do you believe these are all folks that like were voting for Trump to do it, or is it just a thing that it doesn't have really what's your Republican Democrat thing? It's now a thing because everybody's so in tune with the branding, right?
No, for sure.
John Jones does it. And now all of a sudden, Zadarius Smith's going to do it too, because it's like, hey, everybody's going to do it. Like if we start doing it right now on the show, it doesn't mean like pro-Trump, negative Trump, whatever. It's just like it's what everybody's talking about. I don't know where it's at. Is it actually a pro-Trump thing, or is it no, this is what everybody's talking about thing?
I'm not gonna lie, Jones did that, and I didn't know that was actually the Trump. Like
I didn't until everybody said
it's supposed to be like a TikTok thing or something.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
he does it every time.
I had no idea, but so it's the swing at the golf club, and then it's this.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Yeah.
It's like the new gritty, bro.
Comes on top.
It is. It's kind of like it's got that feel to it,
yeah.
Whether you're a Vikings fan or not, right?
Correct.
You're gonna do like now. People do the gritty; they don't even know where it came from.
Oh, without a doubt.
So will they eventually do this Trump dance and not even know like
No, probably.
That's what I'm getting at. I don't know which, but you're saying like some people aren't showing it.
Here's what's happening. You say, is everybody that's doing it a Trump supporter? No. But if you're anti, then you're not doing it. So all the guys that are doing it they know. Because it's not, they're not willing to go that far. But it's either you're not affiliated and don't care, like some people are, and then that's why it's a popularity thing. You're going to do it, or some people could be doing it. Like John Jones did it because I think he's like a Trump guy.
So obviously. Calvin Ridley did it too.
Yeah, Ridley did it too,
and then so did Brock Bowers did it. Yeah.
Now, so some of these people, if you're being stereotypical about who would a Trump guy be or not, I can't imagine everybody that did this thing was a Trump voter.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, that's why it brought me up. And I might be wrong about that. I'm stereotyping. But I don't know. So it's really, it's just odd, but also like wild. That's today's word, the whole thing, this whole segment. Tyson, Paul, Trump dance.
Yep.
Like, hello, 2024. That and the Jags suck. I mean,
Yep.
like, that's what we got.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
That's what we got.
I thought we were going to get more backwards handstands on the head.
Yeah, that kind of went away because people are like, that thing's hard.
That literally lasted a week. I know, right? It is a rough one. And plus, like the payoff's not in the celebration. The payoff's in the picture after the celebration.
That is true. It's too long of a payoff, maybe. Not instant gratification.
It's true.
But it is kind of odd now that we've got a whatever cultural phenomenon dance based off a 78-year-old man.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you're not wrong.
There's a little oddness in that.
Yeah.
But 26-year-olds are doing it. And now we're going to see kids start doing it, like on high school football fields and everywhere else. Ronan's going to be doing the Trump dance.
Oh, no, without a doubt. I mean, he's past trying to do the Saquon Barkley reverse.
He's tried it hard.
Thing. Oh, yeah.
The headstand and the Saquon are too hard.
Yeah, it's true. Everybody can do the Trump dance.
Anybody can do that.
Yeah.
One of the best memes I saw was where they freeze-framed Saquon jumping and put the Netflix buffer at the same time.
That was a thing.
That's cool.
How did everybody get to, like, they were editing those all over the place.
So
I saw,
fast.
like, late.
Delphonic's system has been spread across the
It's amazing how quick people
Did you see the Shaq Gronk interview during, like, the pre-fight?
I didn't see any of the pre-fight.
I did, yeah.
I'm not sure if there's any, like, legs to it, but Shaq was saying how they're trying to get a former NFL, former NBA player, like boxing showdown, like a fighting showdown kind of thing. Now, once again, may have been some alcohol popping a little bit, so, but that's what they were talking about.
But they see so much money in these little charades. It's funny. Like, that's all this is. It's pretty wild. And why are we falling to the, like, why are we
go to a Waffle House parking lot at 2 o'clock and what, you want to see a fight?
Beach?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I mean, why are we doing
Cinema.
this?
I don't know why we're doing this.
Why have we stooped so low?
I feel like I'm in Black Mirror. It's a TV show on Netflix, Brent, don't worry. Sorry.
Doesn't get 60 million, though.
Hammy, you ever see Black Mirror? Sometimes, guys.
Should I see Black Mirror?
Well, it's like a, what do you call it, anthology? Everyone's different.
Okay.
It's kind of like the modern day Twilight Zone. It's way too much. I mean, it'll trip you out.
Okay, yeah.
There's some sad things. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no,
listen,
but like
I cover the Jags every week.
It'll make you think about how you handle your social media sometimes. Like, there's a couple episodes like that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know if I want to go there.
Yeah,
That's too
you're
deep
okay.
of a rabbit hole.
Exactly.
Let's. I do want to let's reset things actually before we take a break. We'll hang on for a little bit here at the top of the hour. If you're just jumping in. Still nothing on the Doug Pederson front or the Trent Baalke front. I do think we need to keep that in mind as well. Trent Baalke kind of getting a little bit of a free pass these last few weeks with all the heat on Doug Pederson, but I don't think he is really getting a free pass. I mean, people just believe that thing's definitely time to change. And again, we've got an article up on actionnewsjacks.com right now. I just think this is so much deeper than the GM and the head coach. I think the Jags need to take a real deep dive into what they're doing. Now, Doug Pederson also said he's going to take a deep dive into what they're doing these next couple of weeks to try to win 6 games. They talk about 4 division games. That's what they're hanging their hat on. I honestly just don't think they can fix this, other than Trevor Lawrence coming back, and then you feel good because you're healthier, you're rested. I don't think. There's the article, by the way. If you go to actionnewsjacks.com. Time for the Jaguars to be like the Detroit Lions, not the one on the human head discovered on Key Biscayne. That is not the article about the Jags. I don't know, Hamby. Like,
You want it? You don't want it zoomed?
Well, yeah. I mean, kind of taking attention away a little bit because I'm not gonna lie.
Because look, guys, if you just zoom in on that alone, you're never gonna be able to tell that it's on a website. It's just gonna be.
Yeah, but it still kind of shows the point. Because I'm not gonna lie, Brent. I'm sure the article is great. I gotta see this human head. I gotta. Like, Brent, I'm sure your article took a lot of time, effort, and energy. You know what you're talking about. I gotta see what's going on with this human. Go back to it. So this guy saved somebody? Yeah, saved the young sister. But what happened with the head? Hammy, click on it right now.
I can't. It's not a live link.
Oh, dang. All right. That's Action News Jax. Yeah, I'll check that out.
Hey, while you're checking out the human head, make sure you're going on over and check out the Jags article.
Go ahead and give him a click as well. But I'm not going to lie, man. I'm not going to lie. You should have waited a couple days because you're against it right now, man. We might be the B-side there. You're trying to fight a human head, dude. Like, that's B-side. You hate to see it.
Unbelievable.
That's like, I don't know. That'd be like, name an artist right now that's big. I don't know. Give me something. That's like the Zach Brown band trying to release like a new album. All of a sudden Beyonce goes, hey, very cool. Check this out. Human head.
Oh, man. So you can check it out on actionnewsjax.com. Both articles, by the way, on there. Hope you enjoy both.
Is that one national or like a local? Is it?
I would assume that would have been a national feeder kind of article in there. Mine's local.
There we go.
So anyway, how do you fix it? Like, how do they fix anything even for 2 weeks from now? Right now, we're going to assume they're going to be Doug Pederson's going to be the guy. What do you? Let's go here instead, guys. What's going to happen at 1:45 today?
He's going to talk.
Well, he is going to talk, but what's he going to say? Do you think? Like, I actually do think he could make a change. I don't know this. I just think he could make. Like, he's not dumb. He's loyal. He's loyal, but he's not dumb. Like, and I don't think the Jags are dumb. Like, they something needs to be, like you said, something needs to change. Like, does he even say, I'm calling plays? Like, does he do anything that sounds different than a normal Monday presser?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think it's going to be, we're looking forward to the bye. Guys will take a little bit of a break. We're going to come back and be ready to go. I don't know. Because, yes, Brent, he's not dumb. There's no way. I get that there. But at the same time, I think his loyalty is dumb.
Yeah.
I wish the only thing that I always think about over this last month that I always go back to is I wish he would, in a sense, address the fans. Just be like, it's almost like the Tim Tebow when he apologizes to the fans. Like, obviously everybody wants that. I'm not expecting anything like that. Just to be like, hey, look, we know. And we're like, even if it's something so simple, just to think that it's a little bit outside of the locker room. It's a little bit outside of the organization, a little bit outside of just their jobs and execution. Just got to revisit and just like from the fan perspective, just address them. Why should I come? Why should I believe in Doug Pederson? Not that he's got to put his, interview for me or a fan to continue to have confidence in him, but
Hammy, you want some self-awareness. Because it seems like a lot of these press conferences, like, we got to get better, but like there's no self-awareness of how bad it is almost. Right. So I get what you're saying there. And yeah, once again, if the goal is to, at least appease the fans, get fans in that stadium, then yeah, maybe something has to be said.
Brent, do you think that's on the table at all? 0% chance?
Not.
Anything like it?
Well, I actually think it's a decent question to be asked. If he's not doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I do think I don't usually go that way, or I don't think we do in the media. I think sometimes you'll get what do you tell the fans? Like, what are they, but I think that right now, like, we know Shad's not going to talk. That's a good question for Shad, but it's not going to tell, he doesn't talk in the middle of the season. Yeah. If Baalke was up there or Doug's up there, yeah, I think that actually that's a good point. And I think it would be on deaf ears. Like, everybody's out on Doug. I mean, everybody's out. I said this last week on the show, right? No, he's lost the fan base. And you ain't winning it back with that effort, right? Against Detroit. So he knows that too. So maybe he doesn't want to do that, Hamby, because he knows he's talking to a wall,
I just don't want to hear him. Maybe
yeah,
I'm alone.
and I do. I think so. I think there's a possibility of that, but I think he might have to be provoked on that. I get what you're saying. I think it actually would be good. I don't know if it would accomplish anything like in terms of fixing the Jags or long term, but I do think it could be good. But I also think what Austen said is pretty spot on. I think they live in a bubble down there, and Austin's lived in that bubble before, and you try to avoid everything. Mac Jones says, I don't go on social media. I don't have social media, and that's probably the right way to do it. But if you're not aware of the situation in this town, in this market, in what you promised and what you thought you had and what you've delivered, that's also a problem. Like, you need to be aware of the situation. That's why he's been so poor on the podium, because he's less aware than he should be.
Yeah.
Right? And so this would be a decent olive branch to be like, listen, I get it. I get it. But we're going to fight like hell to give you something to grab onto, right? For the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. We think we have good players. We have not performed well. We can get the most out of these guys and hope for whatever happens after this year that it's going to go trend in the right direction with these guys. We got to keep developing our young guys. If Trevor comes back, we got to get good play out of the quarterback. Like, those, why not? Like, that's fine. Those are real things. You would say that in a meeting. You can say that to the fans.
Yeah.
But it just hasn't, this one of my, again, I just put this article out, and one of the things that this regime, and really a lot of regimes now in Jacksonville have done a poor job of, I think, inside and outside of the building, is relationships. They don't feel like they're connected to people outside the building.
Which is
and
wild,
sometimes
it's
inside
a small
the building.
market team, too.
It's a problem in Jacksonville that needs to be addressed in Jacksonville. You have to be able to relate. You have to be able to talk. We don't even see Doug, quite frankly, out in the community much. Like, we really haven't, I don't think. Never started the foundation or anything like that. And I'm not saying everybody has to, but a little bit at the J Fund. He probably does a lot of things, by the way.
Sure.
Philanthropic and helping out charities, but it's behind the scenes. And maybe he's a guy that just doesn't believe I got to be in front of this everybody and look what I'm doing. I get it, but also I think that's a miss in this town. I think you can create a lot of goodwill that way. You can get a lot of equity that way. You can walk in a grocery store in Jacksonville and you can see most of Jacksonville. Like, if you've been here for 3-4 years, like, you almost know everybody who lives in Jacksonville, even though it's 1 million plus people. And I don't think that he's grasped that. You know, I don't think they've embraced that. That is the overarching belief I have about this reset, is they need to tap into that. The next people that come in here, and this is why Bill Belichick to me doesn't make a lot of sense. The next people that come in here, you have got to be able to communicate with the fans, reach out to the fans, build equity with the fans, bring them on your team. The business side does a great job of this in Jacksonville. They try like hell, but they're also trying to sell a team that's 2-9 and very disappointing. So it's got to be all connected more. The city, the fan base, the business side, the football side. Urban really made that a disaster. The pandemic did not help this franchise in that regard, followed by Urban. And I just don't think Trent is that guy. He's not a warm and fuzzy guy at all. He was also on the defensive from the jump because everybody didn't want him here. And then Doug was just trying to find his way in a new place, and I don't think he really knew enough to do it. And he probably should have in hindsight, or definitely should have in hindsight. So it's really one of my surprises of the Doug Pederson era so far that more people don't know him, have relationships with him in and outside the building. And I think it was a big miss by him, especially in times like these.
No, that was a great way to put it, Brent. And I'll let you have your moment there because I'm not going to say anything that's going to, even come close to that. So I'm going to do my thing, just be a smartass. First of all, Bill Belichick and his girlfriend can relate to everybody because you have the boomer audience and then you have the 24-year-old audience. So, like, a lot of generations getting represented here. Bill Belichick comes to town. And Shad Khan, I hope you listened to that, because I thought it was meaningful. I thought Brent made a lot of great points. And Brent, I'm going to nominate you for Chief Executive Officer of Optics for the Jaguars.
Let's do it.
CEO squared.
Let's go. Chief Executive of Optics, Brent Martineau. I think you're right.
Optics are important.
I think you're right. Absolutely.
And the optics are bad right now in Jacksonville. And by the way, that's with a locker room that's actually kept things together. The one thing about Urban is that you had guys leaving practice and leaving the facility and all this stuff, and maybe allegedly people getting kicked and things like this, right? Like, you don't even have that stuff.
No.
Like, you could have so much more in Jacksonville if you had done some of these things correct. And you know where I stand on it. And again, I'll refer to the article. I mentioned it. The January stuff bothers me more than any. Like, that shows you were out of tune with what just transpired and what this town's all about. Because it took 18 days or something after the season for Trent Baalke to get in front of people. It took 6 weeks after the post presser on Monday for Doug to even comment about anything. That was at the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. They never jumped out in front of the fans and said, this will never happen again.
Yeah.
And they never looked unified in that message. And therefore we had rumors and everything else and all this discourse going on. Nobody knew, but nobody said anything about it. So that's where this regime, messaging, relationship-wise, has really whiffed. Doug on the podium this year has really whiffed. Their plan also has whiffed this year. Their plan for 2024 has been a big swing and a miss. And there's a football side of this that you still got to get that part right, even if you do all the other things correct. Doug and Dave did a lot of those things correct. I'm sorry, Dave and Gus did a lot of those things correct. But they also missed in a 4-year run in terms of on the field. So to build it up the right way, you got to get it all together. But you do have to get it all together, not just the football side be good. That helps the other side be really good too. Like, you can work with a lot. But when times like this come, and they all come, no matter how good a coach, they all come. Eventually came for Bill Belichick the last couple of years. What kind of equity do you have built up? Now, Bill had 7 Super Bowl trophies.
Yeah.
That helps, right?
Yeah.
In Jacksonville, you have a 9-8 record and a playoff win. That only lasts for so long. And it can't hide what's going on right now. I mean, he's going to go down as one of the better records in Jacksonville history recently, and he's still going to be out the door. People want him out the door right now before he even got to a losing record because there's no equity built up, in my opinion. All right, let's take a time out. Brent Austen Show. Again.
You want to see the clip of the day?
We got a clip of the day?
That's clip of the day.
What do we got? Watch this.
Come on! Let's go! Oh, take it easy.
Watch this.
First word.
Up. What? Up. Watch. Boom!
Oh my! Oh! No way!
How's the other guy not going to beat him? Oh, there he goes.
No way! Oh, dude, it's shook. I mean, also though, you play dumb games, get dumb prizes. Dude, not
play dumb games, get dumb prizes.
Wow. Oh.
That guy's going to get arrested, right?
Yeah, that's assault, brother.
Dude, I had so much fun that
they don't wear mouth guards, I assume, pickleball, do they?
I don't think they do.
No. Maybe they should.
You know, I'm a little disappointed you actually showed that video because I hadn't had a chance yet, but I was going to put me in Austin playing pickleball the other day, somehow mix it into that video. Yeah, I think there's a way to do that.
Yeah, that was... that was...
Be careful picking up your paddle, Austin.
Oh, boy.
Man.
That's unbelievable.
Yikes.
Pickleball gets spicy.
Super spicy.
All right, we'll take a time out. Brent Austen Show will come back. We got MMQB. I do have this thought, guys. Is Trevor going to play? And where do you feel about the Trevor stuff? Are you still in shutdown mode, or do you think there's some value to him playing? We'll talk about it when we come back. Plus, try to get some comments. We've had a bunch of them, so we'll get some of your thoughts here on a Monday. A bad one in Jacksonville and a little bit of college football. Don't forget to check out actionnewsjacks.com. We do have an article up right there. Been working on for really over a year. Just started to put it on paper, though, last week, and feels a little appropriate this morning as the Jags get thumped by the Detroit Lions.
When it comes to trucks, I know exactly what I want. And at Bozard Ford, they make it easy to get exactly that. Let's go make this truck a little more my style. With Bozard Built, I can create my perfect truck right here. Lift kit? Check. Premium wheels? You bet. Advanced lighting package? Oh yeah. The Bozard team works their magic. From bumper to tailgate, I'm making this truck mine. It's everything that I wanted and more. From the field to the gym to weekend adventures. This truck's built for my journey. Bozard Built. Customized for your lifestyle, built to exceed your expectations. Check out the inventory and available options at bozardbuilt.com. Unleash your dream ride. Customize, covered, and Bozard approved.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown. When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway, or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness. And most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick GMC. We are professional grade. If you need a quality play this football season at your home, call That One Painter First Coast. Locally owned and operated, experienced employees, no builder grade materials. And there's more, and for that we throw it to Noah Schlicksup. That One Painter First Coast can apparently help your kicking game too.
Well, after my failure on skinny sticks last year on Creekside game day, I've spent a lot of time out here at Creekside practicing my kicks. There's only one issue. How is that even possible? The good news is I know exactly who can help. That One Painter can handle all your painting needs, from field goal posts to cabinets to stucco. They got you covered. Though they may not be able to help with my kicking, they can certainly help with the posts. Call That One Painter First Coast today for all your painting needs at 904-495-1373.
Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you, and you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Oh, give it to me! I will remember you. Will you remember me? Let your something pass you by. Weep not for Daniel Jones is trash. Brent, I just want to let you know. Put it up there. Adam Schefter reporting it. What, you had like the official statement?
Official statement on Daniel Jones that.
Come on.
The New York Giants are expected to replace Daniel Jones with Tommy DeVito as their next starting quarterback.
Listen, I want you guys to know the power of the mind, all right? Because I've been manifesting this now for 70 games. Ever since Daniel Jones walked his little Duke behind into the NFL. I've been manifesting this, okay? I've been manifesting it, and today the chickens have come home to roost, okay, Brent? People want to say, Austin, why'd you come back? You and Brent are good friends? Yeah, we're okay. Yeah, we're acquaintances, but we're good. But listen, I came back to this show for one reason. Wasn't talking about the Jaguars. Wasn't even for shock your mock. I came back to the show because I wanted to see the Daniel Jones experiment follow through. And 70 games in, it has finally come to an end. My watch has ended. I can go home now and I can rest because my time here, I'm done, man. It's all I needed, Brent. It's all I needed.
It's probably a good time to quit.
Right time.
Oh man,
I kind of got lost in the shuffle this weekend of me. Not for you.
You don't think this whole time during the show I'm hitting refresh? So not because the Jaguars news. Oh, I was waiting for that Tommy DeVito news, Brent.
I mean, I had such a good week last week for the brand, and now you had to squash that down with Daniel Jones.
Yep,
stuff.
let's go and look over the stats one last time. 70 games, goes 24-44, and he's got one tie in there as well, ladies and gentlemen. That's not 70 games, I feel like, so they might have messed up those stats there. A 64% completion percentage, but not bad. 14,582 yards, not sure how good that is, probably not that good. 6.5 yards in average, 70 touchdowns, 47 interceptions, and he accumulated 1,042 fantasy points in his career. Happy trails to Daniel Jones, a.k.a. Danny Dimes, or also known as Vanilla Vic. No one's ever called him that. Pro Football Reference, change it.
Vanilla Vic.
No one's ever called him that. Change it.
Vanilla Vic.
No one's called him that ever in the history of football. Change it.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Why does a guy like Daniel Jones have a good year under Dable to the point where they sign him and then it just turns out that he's not good? Now, like, they haven't always been good around him.
Get him. Look at this. Aren't you going to miss that mug? Oh, man, Dave. We barely knew ya. Should we bring up the cow? Is Kyler Murray? I'm getting close to getting benched or not.
This looks like he's about to draw the little Disney thing.
Is he still dating Kay Adams?
Oh, don't try to justify who he's dating. That doesn't make it better. Doesn't make it better. Is he really dating Kay Adams?
I thought somebody said he was. No, was that a real?
I don't think so.
Oh, impressive.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I just saw. Maybe that was a joking thing.
Can you bring the picture up one more time? Imagine being Brent Martineau and tying all your wagon to this guy. Imagine putting all your chips on this guy. Man, Brent. Hey, you still got 70 games with him, though.
Well, I did. Got a long run. And, this goes back, by the way, to the ESPN show days where we had this Kyler Murray-Daniel Jones battle. Yeah. I picked Daniel Jones, and he took Kyler Murray. Now, it took a long time for Kyler Murray to be Kyler Murray.
Relax.
All right.
Relax.
But it's not like either one of us is hanging on to a Hall of Famer here.
We'll see, Brent. A lot of time left.
Kyler is playing better football, though.
Yeah.
Now we're going to get Tommy DeVito, Cooper Rush.
I know, on Thanksgiving, right?
Isn't Drew? I thought Drew Lock was there.
He is.
But they said that DeVito?
Yeah.
Tommy DeVito beat it. Okay.
They're making Daniel Jones the 3, so they don't have to pay him the injury guarantee.
Just like, oh, really?
Yes.
Well, that's why you move him to the 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The claim to fame, I think this got started. I don't even know. Do you remember the origin of this? I think it was the long run where he tripped over
But everybody
killed him for the trip, but he was like, it was like a 90-yard run or something, wasn't it? Something crazy?
It was probably like a 70-yard run, yeah, but no one was even by him. And he trips and he falls and he essentially gets memed, and then it was kind of downhill from there. Yes, Brent.
And I defended him.
Once you get memed, it's hard to come back.
That's all right, Brent. Hey, listen, you've had a great day today. I had to humble yourself a little. I had to bring it back down to reality a little bit.
I've been humbled again.
Yeah.
What are the Giants going to do? Where are they picking? Are they second right now?
Yeah, that was my question. Who'd you rather be right now, Giants fan or Jags fan?
Oh, yeah, you said that.
Oof. It didn't get a whole lot of traction on Twitter.
I think that sigh of relief says everything you need to know, Brent.
Oh, man. Like, that is tough.
Or a Jets fan.
No.
I would always pick, like, so many times I pick the Jags for reasons. There's reasons. And right now, I just don't know if I want to pick the Jags. Like, I think it's hard. But the Jets and Giants have been brutal, too, you know? Yeah. I mean, seriously, if you're asking for the Jets, where's their direction?
Like, well, you put all your eggs in the Aaron Rodgers basket.
But they're going to, like, if they keep losing, they're going to pick pretty high, and they can replace them quickly with a young quarterback. So they do have that, and they have a talented roster.
But how much of it is on Aaron Rodgers? That's what they.
I think there's definitely some on Aaron Rodgers.
Sure, some.
You been watching the Jets?
No, absolutely, but not how much? Sauce Gardner's not playing well.
I think some of it's the coaching, right? Their coaching disconnect. I do think they would have. I bet they would have at least 2, if not 3 more wins if they kept Salah by now.
What does he got to be thinking right now?
Well,
Holy cow! He's laughing with his money.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for him, man. He got out of there. Like,
there's no shot that he's not a decent
powder keg getting ready to blow.
But so I don't. It just feels in a weird way. Doesn't it feel like the Jets are even worse than the Jags? Hard to say coming off yesterday, but it feels like it's just not going to work more down there. We've had more recent success in the last 6-7 years.
I'm not going to lie though, and we'll see how both teams play out in the next couple of games. But I would probably pick the Jets over the Jaguars right now to win.
If you. Well, but I'm talking about walking into a situation.
Oh, yeah, the situation. I honestly, because I think the Jets might have more talent, though.
They look like they have more blue chippers, potentially, but I don't know what Sauce Gardner is anymore.
I have a hard time believing you don't go from arguably the top cornerback in the league one year to just, like, horrible the next year. Like, maybe you're in between. But, I mean, let me ask you this, Brett. Who on the Jaguars staff right now are you like, okay, yep, get ready for next year? Because we're bringing this guy to the table.
It's really hard coming up this game
to
say that. I mean, I do think the Jags have good players.
Sure, I think Brian Thomas Jr. Yeah. I think, if Tank Bigsby's healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Trevor could be MVP at this rate because look at how bad the offense is.
I do like the idea that if I was walking into a situation that you could still, I think Trevor's probably gained more belief in the last couple of weeks than even he had going into it. I think you have Trevor. I think you have Brian Thomas Jr. on offense. You have Trayvon Walker, Josh Hines-Allen on defense. If you want to just stop there, I think you could be like, okay, I've got some building blocks. The Jets have some of those guys too where you can make a case for, but they don't have the quarterback, so they got to go find the quarterback. I think the Giants, they have to go find the quarterback. Is this going to be a good quarterback class to begin with? You can come up empty there, so you got to get the right coach, you got to get the right quarterback, and the Giants, by the way, have a lot more other things that they have to get. They do not have that much of a talented team, in my opinion. They've got some players, but not enough of them. Where I think Trevor's in a pretty good spot where you could actually get a guy, if you do get him playing well, he's now 4 years in, he's seen a lot. Like, that's in a good spot to be able to say, like, okay, I know what not to do, I know who I am, I know what I need to be. And now you just get somebody good around him that can take him to the next level. Now you might really have something. So I think, am I being homerish there? I'm not sure. But I'm a Trevor believer, too, so it's a little biased for me. That I think I would still like this Jags situation. They've got cap space. The Jets don't seem like they have a lot of cap space, or they could be in financial heck, depending on what they do with Aaron Rodgers. And I think the Giants have a good amount of cap space too. So, from a fan perspective, it's tough being a Jags fan.
It's tough being a Jets fan though too, because even though like I feel like Jaguars fans had expectations, the Jets had even higher.
They did.
Expectations.
I've had them in the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Who'd you have? You had the Jets and Cowboys? Yikes.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
Yikes.
That was a big whiff.
Hammy, who'd you have?
My plan went awry, too.
Jags, Packers.
I mean, okay. I'll take the dub here, guys. It's all right.
What do you have? Eagles?
Eagles, Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was more of the whole Travis Kelce, Jason Kelce thing. I thought Jason Kelce come out of retirement to play one final game.
Yeah.
Build the podcast up and everything.
I only can hang my head on my Denver Broncos pick right now.
Dude, Denver's the real deal, huh?
How about Bo Nix?
I know.
Bo Nix played really good football right now. I think I saw 14-2
Yeah.
In terms of touchdown interception since week 4.
I know everyone's on the Jaden Daniels Rookie of the Year, but Bo Nix is making a case now.
Starting to it changes like every couple of weeks, right? It was Caleb Williams. It was Jaden Daniels.
And I have to hear about it from my son every single day, too. So it's awesome.
Which one's? Oh, Bo Nix.
Bo Nix, obviously, Oregon, man.
What about last night? What about Joe Burrow? I mean, the guy's he's got like, what did Ty tell me? He's got 800 yards and 7 touchdowns and no picks in the last 2 weeks and lost.
Yeah. Did you see our dude?
Jamar?
Him too, but Trey Hendrickson after he looked.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they missed 2 kicks.
Yeah.
And they came back, and that really hurt, right? 4-7 now. It's not impossible, but 4-7 is tough. Came all the way back from 27-6 down. Like Harbaugh, now you win a game. The Chargers lose that game. Did you see that stat, by the way? I didn't realize they had lost 10 games in 3 or less points. They had lost their last 10.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Like, that's unbelievable. But to win a game like that, I think is really important for Harbaugh. What else strike you? The Ravens can't beat the Steelers.
Correct. Yeah. Steelers are...
That dude is a great coach.
Yep.
He is a great coach.
Yeah. And listen, like, I guess, like, yeah, I always thought, okay, Tomlin's good and everything, right? But, like, okay, I mean, how many Super Bowls? But, like, I mean, you give them a halfway decent quarterback, and look what they're doing. Like, what happens if you get, like, an elite quarterback in Pittsburgh?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you're already, what are they, 8-2?
Yes.
Bills, big win.
Yep.
How big?
I mean, it's big. It's great for them, right? Like now that they have a little more swag to them and everything, a little more enthusiasm with Bills Mafia. I get all that. I mean, it's the NFL, right? Like eventually, I mean, I was hoping, just for a storyline, the Chiefs weren't going to lose or anything, just to say, like, because they would be like the Yankees then. Like, the Chiefs went undefeated the whole year with how they've kind of got lucky a couple times. You would have the Yankees on your hands, and the NFL would have loved that. But it's the NFL. Like, there's going to be a loss, and it wasn't like it was a blowout. It was a close game, came down to the wire. So,
Did you see that was the first time, I think, in 31 games, they've given up more than 28 points?
I didn't know that.
I think I saw that tweet. I think I got it right. First time in 31 games, they've given up more than 28 points. Again, it's so weird to say it. I get it's Mahomes.
We do that bi-weekly.
Their defense, we do that in a half. Their defense is their identity, man. Like, if over 31 games, their defense has been so good. Spagnuolo doesn't get enough credit.
No, he's
really good.
Talented, yeah.
So, anyway, that's what's going on around the National Football League. But Mike Tomlin, it's just unreal. They just don't feel like they can win big because they just don't feel like I have a lot of belief in their team.
Yeah.
But that's shame on me because they might be able to.
Yeah. I mean, once again, it's like I said, you get Mike Tomlin like a below average in quarterback, he'll still win you 8-9 games a season.
It's amazing.
You give Mike Tomlin a pretty good quarterback to maybe, I will say pretty good quarterback. You're 8-2 in the top of the hardest division in the NFL.
Brent, when you stepped out for a minute last week, Austin and I had the question, would you rather have Mike Tomlin or Harbaugh?
Yeah.
John Harbaugh?
No, Jim. Chargers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just because the question was kind of, who would you rather be, Steelers or Chargers? And it morphed into which coach would you rather have?
And then it morphed into which one will win a Super Bowl first.
Those are all good questions.
That's what we do in the break.
I feel like I would take Tomlin.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Here we go again. Yep. Okay. That's your first one. Gotcha, Tomlin.
What was the next question?
Oh, go head to head. Which team would you?
Which team would I rather have
right now to win a Super Bowl right now?
I actually do think. I think actually the Steelers have while Chargers have a better quarterback, I think the Steelers actually have a better team.
Okay, so you're saying you would rather take the Steelers have the better team. Tomlin's the better coach, but if you have to pick which one will win a Super Bowl first,
which team will win the Super Bowl
because they have
first?
A quarterback.
Yeah, I think I probably would say that.
Yeah.
See, and then that's where I'm like, maybe because I said the same thing. I'm like,
and Harbaugh's good enough. He's been there. He's been good enough to get there, so you know that.
So I say, yeah, Tomlin. I think I would rather have Tomlin. And then we started talking through it a little bit. I'm like, well, which team theoretically could you see winning a Super Bowl first? And I think it's the Chargers.
Yeah.
And if that's that's like the conversation that we're having right now. Well, Harbaugh's been there for not even a year yet, and we're saying that.
Yeah.
How good is Harbaugh then?
Harbaugh's very good, but here's where I get a little antsy on Harbaugh, and this is what happened in San Francisco. And he's a different guy now. He is a different guy, and he actually was able to sustain even in Michigan. So I do think he's a different guy. But if you are talking sustainability, obviously Tomlin's proven it, and I think Harbaugh is not. Harbaugh's so quirky, you wonder if at times that quirkiness wears out.
Sure.
Everybody give somebody a high five.
Right? But I think there's also a genuine part of Harbaugh that's really shifted. Again, this is a guy that I don't think was very well liked when him and Baalke were together. I think that was part of the problem in San Fran when it started to blow up, is that You don't have two warm and fuzzy guys in there, and that relationship was going to get prickly sooner or later.
Yeah.
But I think some of that had to do with Harbaugh. Harbaugh really has kind of reinvented himself when he went to Michigan. Like, he got rejuvenated. He felt like he got younger. He felt like he kind of took some humility there as well, especially with some of the losses to Ohio State over the years. I think probably helped that. And
his
kind
vibe
of
is
find
almost
himself.
his vibe is almost as if like he's an encourager now.
He really is, and he wasn't that way. Like, he's really, like, again, I don't know all of it about Harbaugh, but from the outside looking in, he really has changed, in my opinion. Where Mike Tomlin has not. He's the same guy. He's been that guy, right? Yeah. He is who he is. And I guess I would just, curiosity-wise, will Harbaugh kind of morph again at some point? Whether it's because of success, whether it's just because of the NFL, whether it's because of adversity. Could he potentially do that? I don't know.
I mean, I feel like you had adversity going into the season. You're supposed to, at least. Like, I think the Chargers are going to be that good this year.
No, they didn't. So you're playing with house money, but he's playing with a little what Doug has, right, in year one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't mean you sustain it. We're seeing it year 3.
Sure.
And I guess that'd be my question. Can he elevate him to where you can sustain it? We saw it a little bit of Michigan right at the back end when they started beating Ohio State. But we also know this. If he had come back to Michigan this year, he wasn't going to sustain it. They weren't good enough.
Probably not.
Right? Now, that's just a one-year thing. Doesn't mean he can't go get it next year. But I think the question is, will Harbaugh be able to do it to that degree? But he's doing a hell of a job. I'm a big Harbaugh guy, man. I like Harbaugh.
Yeah.
It's weird. I didn't know I'd like him this much, but I really think he's fun. A lot of fun. All right, let's take a time out. One more to get to. We'll be back. Brent Austen Show will give you the latest. I know we're getting a lot of questions. I'm going to try to answer some of these questions in the chat, try to get you the latest of what we know and where we're going. And yes, I am going to the news conference down there at 1:45. Delphonic did say. I love that. That's how we plan our day now, is Brent going to the news conference.
Yeah, man. That's what we got to look forward to, Brent.
I'll start missing the shows on Wednesdays just to go to the news conference. Donato's Pizza, Jack's Beach and Mandarin locations. You can use Brent20, the code, 20% off your order. Check them out, donatos.com. For lunch, for dinner, any day, any time of the week. Welcome to Everbank Stadium. We call the stadium the bank. Here inside the Jaguars locker room, this is called the Vault. The Vault is a special place on game days. You can feel the energy and excitement as the Jaguars get ready to take the field. And Everbank has made a way for Jaguars fans to be a part of the action. Each home game, Everbank will select a winner and a guest to be a part of the Shadows. Be there up close and personal when the Jaguars leave the Vault to take the field. Not only that, the Vault Lounge provides a VIP pregame tailgate experience. High-end food, beverages, music, and more. Want a chance to be part of a VIP experience at a Jaguars game? Enter today at everbank.com/shadows, and you could find yourself in the shadows with the Jaguars.
For the game day hustle and every day in between. Juggling my show, Jags Social, to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament. But this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP lounge on wheels. Let's talk tech. My profile remembers everything from customizing my dash display to setting the ambient lighting and my signature scent. And wireless charging, essential for live tweeting scores. Whether I'm packing for a beach day with friends or heading to the gym, there's space for every passion. After dominating all day, this becomes my recovery zone. The massage feature is like having a personal PT on call. Life's a non-stop game, but with this ride, I'm always on my A game. The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Drive.
If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. When you hear that, you think Bono's Pit Barbecue, a staple in Northeast Florida now for 75 years. A place that feels like home with friendly service, a meeting place for friends, family, or business occasions. On the menu, the corn nuggets are a favorite in our house, but there's something for everyone. Sandwiches, platters, salads, sides, desserts, and family feasts. You see Bono's all over the place in Northeast Florida. You know, there are almost 20 locations in the Jacksonville area now, so stop on by, sit down, and dine in with Bono's. You can also take it to go. There are drive-thrus in many of the locations, and they have delivery options too. Just download the Bono's app to make things easy. I signed up for the loyalty program, and you can too, to get special offers. If Jacksonville is home, few things feel more Jacksonville than Bono's Pit Barbecue. Celebrate 75 years and many more to come. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242. You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing. Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Right now, save 10% off a new Rinnai tankless water heater. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. For a limited time, CGC is waiving the trip charge on all related plumbing calls. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579. It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to String Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to String Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
That's our Monday morning quarterback report, driven by your local Hyundai dealers. Is joy in every journey, except for this one with the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2024. Let's talk about the quarterback. Can he save this? Is he going to play? Is there reason for him to play? How do we feel about it coming off this one? I know it's a question we've kind of lingered through the last couple of weeks.
Man, it's weird because I feel like it can go either way. Do I think that Trevor has the ability to win football games? Well, against the easy part of the schedule, sure. Now, is it worth risking? It all comes down to how is the shoulder feeling. That's what it comes down to, Brent. And I think he wants to play. I think if there's a possibility he can play, they should put him out there. But once again, if it's going to be a risk of it can get worse, something, then you probably shut him down.
Hammy, what do you think?
Ironically enough, I've seen a lot on social media praising Trevor almost by default because they're saying, oh, wow, look what the offense has looked like the last 2 weeks. Maybe we owe it all to Trevor Lawrence that we even won 2 football games so far. Yep. Obviously, I wouldn't go that far necessarily, but I do think that obviously when you only see one thing, you can take it for granted, and then you see what our offenses look like. You got to think. It does beg the question, how much of any effectiveness that we've had on offense is attributed to Trevor Lawrence, and how much is he making up for, which is a good question. I'd love to see him play. I think he'd want to play. I think he should play. I think he still has stuff to prove. I think there are still games to be won. We don't have a drastic need at any one spot also. And I know that the players never think about the draft. I fully understand that. But at the same time, as a fan, we don't have one position where there's a glaring need. Obviously, we don't need a quarterback, right? So the number 1 overall pick means nothing to me. I already said it would be a disaster to get it, in my opinion, 3 out of 5 years. But I think the main thing has to be winning football games. We have got to show that we can maintain some momentum, any sort of momentum going into next year, which is insane that we're already saying this, and it's still only week 11. We still got 6 left. But you're in the mindset of gaining momentum for next year, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead.
I think tackle's a glaring need because if Walker Little is going to probably be gone.
Yeah.
So I think tackle.
Yeah, which could be a top 10 pick, which again you can move
that's not
around that spot. You're probably
no,
going to get
it
a
ain't
top
gonna
10
be
pick.
right. Yeah, and especially like tackle probably won't go 1, 2, or 3. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to worry about we got a tank for a tackle. Like no, it ain't like that.
Yeah, I think you bring up some good points, and I've been on this train anyway, right? I think if he can get back, I think it's important. I think it's important for him. That might be the next article I write, quite frankly. I think there's too much. You're asking a guy to overcome a lot. You've asked him to overcome a lot in Jacksonville. Now, listen, he hasn't played great football all the time. This doesn't mean he's void of some blame. But he also has to deal with a lot. And now he's dealing with a bunch of noise from the fan base who wants his coach fired and everybody else fired and everything they built around him for 3 years. Everybody wants that gone. And I'm not telling you he wants that gone. I'm just saying everybody wants that gone. It looks like it's going to be gone, which now you're going to go on his third regime in 5 years after what started. So I believe they can win some of these games down the stretch. I believe if you think you can win some of those games with Trevor at quarterback, it's important to what Hamby said for this team to win some games, like this franchise to win some games, for him to maybe get some momentum going into the offseason. Now, there's a negative side of that. You could lose. You could get hurt again more. Like, that's the risk you take. I think it's worth the risk. If he's healthy enough to play coming out of the bye week, I think this franchise, once again, needs to be saved a little bit, at least in the interim, by Trevor Lawrence. And he needs to pick this team up. He needs to show what he can do, come off the mat, like the Lions game, hard thing to do. And just get on a roll a little bit. Do something. Hey, what if he comes out against Houston here at home and plays a good football game and plays better than C.J. Stroud? What does that look like? See? Hey, that's good for going into the next year.
Yeah,
what if they can win 3 more games after that? Win 4 out of 6 or something, right? Going into... Okay, now you win 6 games. We can blame everybody else for why it went wrong. Trevor actually, when he was in there and healthy, had some good moments this season. We need to be more consistent with it. There's still going to be questions asked. But how about just getting some of those things along with wins and save the embarrassment of the first pick that you're probably not going to do much with other than build your team because you could get a lot of capital for it. I'm tired of capital. They've got 10 picks. So all those things. He is a mentally tough guy. So I say this all the time. I don't want it to come across like he's soft and you need to coddle him and all that. That's not what this is about. This is human nature. And by the way, you, the fan, need something too. You might be able to say shut it down, but you're miserable every Monday. Like, you need to see something out of this football team. You need to see something out of this franchise.
Tired of seeing this as the thumbnail.
You're not hanging. Listen,
Marshawn Lynch.
Everybody can say, "Oh, if this happens, we're gone. I'm gone." No, you're not. You're coming back next year. You're going to believe in this team next year. You're going to want this team to do well next year. You're going to want to go next year. You got a new stadium in a few years. Like, you want something to grab onto. And if Trevor Lawrence is the only thing to grab onto as you enter now a new regime, and Brian Thomas Jr., and we can see those guys hook up a couple more times. You know what? That's a small victory and worth it, in my opinion.
The other side of that, though, is what happens if Trevor comes out and he's not 100%, so he looks bad. You lose games that you're supposed to win. Then what does that do for his confidence? And then if we're worried about the fans, then what does that do for the fans' confidence in Trevor Lawrence?
I think the muck is so mucky right now that it doesn't matter if it goes that way.
Okay.
I think it can only go one way. I mean, guys, is this rock bottom?
Yeah.
This is rock bottom, right?
I mean, it's rock bottom, but once again, I think the little glimmer, shining of hope is look at how bad they are with Trevor Lawrence not in there.
Austin, did you see that thumbnail I just put up? That's what the NFL put from the game.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
Thanks, NFL.
That's what it seems like. Yeah, Marshawn Lynch, what's up?
So bad. But also, Brent, isn't this a lost season for Trevor if he doesn't play? If he's done?
Yeah, and here's the thing. The negative storyline of Trevor is he's missed X amount of games now over the last however many games, and he's been hurt. So now you add that label to it.
He's going to get the Burrow treatment.
And again, he wants to play. He's a tough guy.
If he wants to play, then let him play.
Teammates.
Listen, it isn't about what I want, what you... I don't care. Like, if Trevor Lawrence wants to get in there, then let him get in there. If it's still kind of... Then don't... then save him from himself. Like, that's what it has to be about. Like... Sure, it'd be great if you can win some of these football games and gain some confidence. You don't want to see Trevor do bad, all this stuff, that's fine. If he wants to play, then let him play. If it's to the point where it's like, Trevor, if you go back in there, you can do some catastrophic damage, then save him from himself.
That is your Monday morning quarterback report driven by your local Hyundai dealers on this Monday. And I want to finish up the show with this, guys, and we'll talk some college ball tomorrow. I thought about this from Shad's perspective as we wait to see if there's going to be a move that gets made. And here's the deal. They have actually canceled tomorrow's player availability because they're shortening the day. And so now people are starting to read into that. Are they going to make a move? I don't know what that means. I don't necessarily read into it that way. We were kind of talking it out in the break. Like, the Jags are in the locker room right now, their availability. Doug's going to talk in less than an hour. Once you get past that, could you potentially make a move so those guys don't have to deal with it, right? The locker room especially. Make a move this afternoon, and then you could have Mike McCoy meet with the team tomorrow on a short day, if he's going to be the interim, and then you move forward, and maybe even McCoy gets made available Tuesday or Wednesday, and they just haven't announced that yet. So could that mean that? Maybe. It could. But I also think it could mean, like, Doug and this team is like, we don't want to see each other for another minute. So let's come in and get our work done. We said it, like, will they even look at this film? Probably not. Why would you? So let's just hit the break, all right? I mean, what are we going to say? What are we going to say to each other? Let's hit the break, and we'll see you next week, and we'll get back to work. It could be as simple as that. So we'll continue to monitor. Obviously, we'll be down there in just a bit. I'm not hearing anything one way or another, and it doesn't sound like the national guys are. And once again, I'll just chalk this up to nobody knows what Shad Khan is going to do. But I want to finish with this. What if you're Shad Khan? Last night, flight home, today, wherever you are, what bothers you the most about all this? About the whole thing? What's pushing you over the top to make the move like right now?
That you were told this team was the best team that you ever assembled. That you were told that this team had playoff potential, that this team would contend for a division, and you were sold a bill of goods.
Amby?
I think it was yesterday. What they just put on the field. I think this is a layup for Shad. It says this is you know, I think Shad is hesitant. We've said that, right? And probably doesn't want to do this, and probably likes Doug. Well, this is a layup. It was already a thing, and then you were lost by 46 points, and now you have a bye week. Like, that's what does it for me. You just had the worst loss in franchise history to make it 2-9. You are the worst team in the NFL. There's no disputing it. Like, that is a layup to me. And if he just disregards it, be shocked.
Yeah, that was a good thing. I don't know if I have a better one than those. Honestly, I think 3-14 bothers me over the last 17 weeks.
Sure,
not beating anybody. 3-14. So it just shows like there's no hanging your hat on close games or this. No, there's nothing. There's nothing. Like, don't hang your hat. There's nothing to hang your hat on. I can't find it, and I'm the most positive guy in town. So nobody can find it. So that just is where it is. And if you hit rock bottom, yeah, you can come back from rock bottom, but you're so far away. A year ago, the Jags and the Lions were 8-3. It was 52-6. And maybe that's what bothers me more than anything, if I'm Shad. Look where we were. Look where we were supposed to be. Compile what you just said, what you promised, what we thought we were going to be. I believed you. We believed the plan. There was reason to believe the plan. The plan went wrong, but the coaching hasn't even helped fix the plan when you could have fixed the plan a little bit at times. So it's a compilation of all that, but really all you have to do is look at two teams that are a canyon apart. A canyon apart. And this is not 2013 when you intentionally were a canyon apart between the Seattle Seahawks and you. This is what's supposed to be, we'll see in the Super Bowl, Detroit. Like, that's what this was supposed to be. So I think that in a nutshell is like, what are we doing? What has stopped the cap, Brent? I mean,
come on, Brent. Stop lying.
What am I lying about?
Duval TV said the 8-3 to start the year was fraudulent anyway, so he's not buying the whole 3-14 or 3 wins in the last 17 argument.
Yeah,
He thinks it goes further than that.
And it might. They were a little bit of a mirage there, but they were still 8-3. Doesn't matter how you're 8-3 for 8-3, right? All right. Well, we'll be down there today. We'll anything happens, we'll obviously let you know.
Brent, best of luck, man.
Well, thank you. And
Chin tucked, hands up, all times.
Back in studio at it tomorrow. Hey, there are trucks, and there's the truck, the GMC Sierra. That's what I drive. You can too. Nimnick Buick GMC. NimnickBuickGMC.com. Visit on Phillips Highway as well. And remember, nobody but Nimnick. Have a great Monday, everybody. We'll be with you throughout the day. And then 7 o'clock tonight, Jags Report live from String Sports Brewery in Springfield.